let's talk about net neutrality. I came to you on December 19th of 2017. It feels like so long ago, but it was not even a month ago. And I told you the Senate's going to vote on restoring net neutrality. Chuck Schumer and a couple of others in the Senate are going to sponsor it. But are they going to be able to get anybody else to jump on board? And then January 9th, I came to you and I said, hey, that bill to reverse the net neutrality repeal now has 30 sponsors. But can they get more? Can they even get enough to get to 50 votes or 51 votes in the Senate? Well, the Washington Post, as of this morning, is reporting that according to top Democrats yesterday, 50 senators have now endorsed a measure called the Congressional Review Act to override the recent repeal of Obama-era net neutrality regulation. So what this means is that they need just one more Republican to come over to their side to get 51 votes. Right now, they've got 49 Democrats, all 49 Democrats in the Senate, plus Susan Collins from Maine. She is one of the 5 or so Republicans that on some issues will sometimes vote with Democrats. Great news, right? Why is this bad? Well, no, it's obviously very good. You get one more vote, and then it passes the Senate, and then it fails in the House, or if it somehow passes the House, which it won't, it will be vetoed by Donald Trump, who would need to sign it for it to take effect. If Jesus Christ himself showed up and said, hey, yes, I am the Jewish carpenter in the sky that you guys have been talking about for a couple thousand years. I was born to a virgin, and I want net neutrality. Republicans in the House would still probably say, nah, we misunderstood Jesus. We're not voting for
They would
him.
have to check with the president first.
Yeah, like who was it that said that?
Some Trump supporter on CNN.
Yeah, he's like, even if Jesus told me X and Trump told me Y, I would double check with Trump to see whether it's X or Y. So even Susan Collins' vote for this is a safe one. Her district on many issues is sort of to the left of the more extreme Republican Party. She can sign on to this knowing, number one, it's never going to pass, and number two, it will probably be good for her politically. But what is the mechanism that is at play here? Why is it that Democrats are doing this if ultimately it's up to Trump whether it gets signed into law or not? Well, the way it works is that any agency that's independent, FCC is one of those, they make a decision and elected officials get 60 days, 60 legislative days, I believe it is, where they can reverse the decision under the Congressional Review Act. That's what they're trying to do. But if it's not going to pass, what is the point of this? I've been talking to you about it now for 3 weeks, nearly a month. But if it's not going to pass, what's the point? The point is make this a campaign issue for 2018 and maybe even 2020. Overwhelmingly, the American public supports net neutrality provisions. Force Republicans to defend when they're up for re-election in 2018 or 2020. Force them to defend not voting in support of those popular net neutrality provisions. Make it possible for Democrats to run against Republicans on this and to also run on having supported, I guess we would call it, repealing the repeal of net neutrality. There is one real way, if you want solutions and you want them now, to force Trump's hand on this. And you know what it is, Pat. I've been saying it for a while. We've got to take control of the House and Senate in 2018. And then that's how we might actually be able to force Trump's hands on this. But this is actually one of the top issues that shows that our system just isn't working. American voters say net neutrality is not controversial. We want it. Even Republican voters generally want net neutrality unless they've been brainwashed by the corporate talking points. The country wants net neutrality. Our elected officials seem split almost exactly 50-50 on this. Wait a second. I thought they represented us, Pat. I thought they represented the constituents. No. How can you have such agreement on an issue among voters, which is really rare in American politics, and then among our elected officials, it's a 50-50 partisan split?
Well, I do think it will pass the Senate, but just barely. And I think the good that comes out of that is then you have a conversation about if it could pass the House and if it could be passed by the president. And then maybe we'll have a reporter ask Trump what his opinion on net neutrality is. And I'd like to hear that. Get him on record saying that he's opposed to it or taking the FCC's side in some way. And that'll alienate his supporters.
He's basically said that he's against it, but he doesn't really know what it is. He said that it's the fairness doctrine and he's against it. Like a total misunderstanding of what it is. Okay, so I actually do think, generally I'm against, would we call this a political stunt? I mean, it's kind of a stunt in a sense, but it actually might lead to passage in the Senate. Generally, I'm against wasting taxpayer money for these doomed to fail ideas, but there might actually be a greater good here, which is that it could be used in 2018
I
successfully.
think that if it can pass one side of Congress, it's not doomed to fail. Then it's well worth it.
Fair
You're
enough.
halfway there.
Fair enough. You are in a sense, even if you're going to be way upside down in the House. Send me your thoughts on this. Is this just a waste of taxpayer money, or is this actually something useful, possibly to, quote, vote them out in 2018? I'm on Twitter at dpakman. The show is on Twitter at David Pakman Show. Today's program is sponsored in part by Winc, spelled W-I-N-C. I like to try to appear knowledgeable about wine. I like showing up to social events with a bottle and being able to say something about why I like it, but I'm really just not very good at that. And that's what Winc makes very easy for anybody to do, to discover great wines. Because what they do is every month they ship you wines that are matched to your tastes and personalized to you. You take a 6-question, sort of like a wine palate quiz. And based on answering questions like how you like your coffee, if at all, or whether you like blueberries or raspberries, the system will figure out what wines you are likely to enjoy. And then over time, as you rate wines in the Winc system, the recommendations become even more personalized to your tastes. So to try it, you can go to trywinc.com/Pakman. That's trywinc.com/Pakman. Do the palate profile quiz. After answering those questions, you'll start getting great wines personalized and delivered right to your door. No membership fees. You can skip any month, cancel any time, and Winc has a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So you never end up paying for a bottle that you don't like. And for a limited time, you can get $20 off when you go to trywinc.com/Pakman. That's TRYWINC.com/Pakman for $20 off.